Here
we go. We're cooking with grease. All right, so tonight, glossary terms, we happened upon one of Piaget's stages of cognitive development. So I was talking about our social work exam prep. I'm currently using AATB, the Association for Advanced Training in the Behavioral Sciences. And the first, I just opened to the P's. Pre-Mac principle was the first one, which I've never heard of before. And my clients love to stump me. They're like, oh, have you ever heard of this? I thought you were a better therapist. I thought you were really good, but this other person brought it up and you haven't even talked about it. So usually my clients don't care what I know or that I've gone to school, but when they bring stuff up like that, I'm like, I thought it was pretty good too, but I'm so excited to learn it. So please don't feel like you have to know all the interventions or techniques to get started. So pre-Mac principle, have any of you heard of this before?
No.
No.
Okay, still the expert, just checking. All right, pre-Mac principle is an application of positive reinforcement that involves using a high frequency behavior as a positive reinforcer for a low frequency behavior. So I had to read through that word or through that a bunch of times because it's clear someone got their PhD. Probably someone named Pre-Mac coming up with those words. But I realized they were talking about something we do all the time. And we did it during COVID, like naming all the songs you can sing in 2 minutes while you're washing your hands. You remember for 5 minutes when they thought we were going to be able to just wash our hands and get through this? It was so funny, but we do it with little kids, and little kids who don't like sinks are scary. I have seen a child for TFCBT around an injury washing their hands. Like they're just slippery and they're cold and they're hard and the water's too hot and you can't reach it, but you can trick kids into washing their hands, and preschool teachers do it all the time. They go, tops and bottoms, tops and bottoms. And there's this like thing that you do with it and you get to do a little dance. And then they do it a bunch of times during the day. So it's a high frequency behavior that's a positive reinforcer. We are not giving these kids candy. We are not bribing them. We are not rationalizing. We're not psychoeducating. And the low frequency behavior is washing your hands. So my physical therapist did this for me when I was pregnant with one of my children. She said, I really want you to do your perfect posture when you see a red light, because I was a case manager at the time. And I was like, what if I see stoplights? And she was like, there's no way, it'll be meaningless because you see so many. So it can't be too high, but it has to be something that is a frequent thing that happens in your life to reinforce something else you're trying to do. Michael, do you use any of these already?
No, but I think I got a new Starbucks song.
I think we're going to turn Starbucks into a high frequency behavior. So right after that, I think it went into pre-operational, which this is the downside of a glossary book, is everything is in alphabetical order, and Piaget's stages are not in alphabetical order because he's French and they don't know about the alphabet. So Piaget proposed 4 major stages of cognitive development. So this is childhood cognitive development. Erikson is who we talk about usually for adulthood. Piaget is the gold standard for kids, and Erikson is the gold standard for adults. And so any kind of cognitive development goes against, sometimes they say like that we start as this blank slate and we just get filled up with experiences, and that's what shapes us. But Piaget said, no, I think the way that we even see the world changes as we grow. And that's why we have like different things that we're trying to accomplish. So sensory motor is the very first one, from birth to 2 years old. Pre-operational, and you guys get these, I'll email them out with our notes. You even get the graphic with your log tonight. And Michael, these notes are already typed, so they're really coming tonight. You're not going to have to email me in the morning. So concrete or sensory motor is birth to 2 years. We're taking in information about the world and exploring it. there's some conceptual things. So most kids who are 2 don't talk to you. They definitely babble. We use the ASQ to do all kinds of verbal development checks, but they can get the concepts of things. So my little baby, I'm a grandma. I always have a picture on hand. She, on Wednesday, was walking around my parents' house and found a comb and looked at it and looked at me and smiled and did this. And then she walked up and did it to me.
Oh,
She does not talk. She does not say comb. She does not understand self-care, right? So there's a lot of things kids do that might make us think they have other things going on. But in pre-operational, that's where we move to like more conceptual thing, or less conceptual and more towards operational. So babies can learn baby sign language. They can do this when they want milk. They can do this when they want more. And those kids who learn sign language, which is conceptual, along with our culture, like a boy is like the brim of a hat. So it links it with a concept you might see. So kids who learn baby sign language during that sensory motor phase actually learn every other language better in pre-operational stage, because they've got the concepts already during the time they were learning concepts. Pre-operational kids learn things just fine, right? But they're able to name that the baby's holding water. So the baby's holding a glass and he knows that he's supposed to hold it because he's seen it. And the next kid goes, that's water, and can name it. In concrete operational, that kid is trying to decide which glass has more water in it. One is taller, one is shorter, one is fatter, one is skinnier. In concrete operational, kids still tell us that this glass holds more water, right? So in formal operational, we're thinking about volume, we're thinking about halfway, we can kind of maybe visually think about if I poured one into the other, or if we watch people pouring from the same size glass into that. These kids can watch someone take a glass of water and a glass of water that are obviously the same and pour them in those 2 different cups. And if you ask which one has more water, this kid will still say this glass, right? But 7 to 11-year-olds can make you dinner. They can follow instructions off all recipes. 7 to 11-year-olds can help you with IT. 5th grade teachers will tell you that the kids fix their IT problems. So common sense isn't common. And as our brain is developing and adding in information, it's not until formal operational stage that we've got those rational things going on. So each of you, as we've been talking about tonight, our traumatized caseloads, we can see that when this child's brain is forming during conceptual, you might have a patient who can tell you all the things that you are doing and can tell you all the steps they're supposed to do, but they don't understand the concept of what's going on, right? So we're not going to punish that person for not understanding concepts. We might punish them for not understanding rules in punitive environments, and that is definitely a part of learning. Okay. So sensory motor, the first 2 years of life. Knowledge is acquired through the senses and motor behaviors. Pre-operational, 2 to 7 years. You can think symbolically, but you don't have the logical operations, and you will not, until you work with 4-year-olds, you will never believe the number of parents who will tell you that 4-year-old's long, complicated plan of how they're going to get back at their parents. Like, parents routinely misattribute things to 2 to 7-year-old kids because they can talk and because they remember things, right? Concrete operational thinking is they use logic only. These are kids who are obsessed with exactly the kind of work disputes we've been talking about all night. She only got that from the boss because it's they're their favorite. People only like them better because they have a nice car. You know, these kind of rational, meaning-making things, and it's all about fairness and justice, and I don't want you to give anything to them that you didn't give me, and vice versa. And then formal operational thinking, some of us reach, but it begins at 11 or 12. Most of us will never grow up into full formal operational thinking, just like in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Most of us don't. None of us get to live in self-actualization. It was a mini exam prep. We've been chatting. All right, we're getting into the end of our minute.